it's Kayla, and today I wanted to talk about how and why I used to hide my vision impairment and kind of my journey to becoming open about it. And for those of you who don't know me personally, you just know me here on YouTube, this may be kind of a surprise to you that I used to hide my vision impairment since I'm so open about it on this channel. It's pretty much all I talk about. But there are a lot of people I have known in my life that had no idea that I was visually impaired, or they maybe had a slight idea that I couldn't see very well, but they had no idea to what extent. So I guess I will just start from the beginning. And I would also like to note really quick that when I was younger, I could see quite a bit better than I do now, although I have always been legally blind. But since it wasn't as bad, it was quite a bit easier to hide back then than it is now. So in elementary school, I didn't really hide my vision impairment because I was pretty close to normal. I just used a magnifier to do my schoolwork and I couldn't see in the dark. But other than that, I was pretty much the same as my peers, and I was a normal kid. I played on the playground, I went to birthday parties, I had sleepovers, I had friends, and people were nice to me, so it wasn't a big deal. But then middle school and high school are a totally different ball game, and that's when I started to try and keep it a secret. And I did that because I just wanted to fit in. I wanted to have friends and I wanted to be normal, and I didn't want to be different or be treated differently. So I just didn't want anybody to know. So I didn't use accommodations in class like a magnifier because I didn't want anyone to see me using them. And I kind of just played off any kind of situation that could possibly give me away. So if someone tried to give me a high five and I didn't see it and they were like, I'm trying to give you a high five, I'd be like, oh, sorry, I just totally wasn't paying attention. I used that one a lot, that I wasn't paying attention. People probably thought I was super spacey. And if I tripped over something or bumped into something, I would be like, oh my gosh, I'm so clumsy. Or again, oh, I wasn't paying attention. And when everyone was getting their driver's licenses and I couldn't drive, I just told people that my parents wouldn't buy me a car. I pretty much had a cover up for everything. It was kind of like this secret talent of mine. I was like a master of disguise. I always had something up my sleeve to try and cover it up. And sometimes they even went to kind of extreme lengths to try and hide it. When I was a senior in high school, I became really good friends with this guy and his group of friends who were also guys. And when we would be hanging out and it would get dark, I would make them carry me. Well, I guess I didn't force them, they obliged maybe, because I was kind of cute and I've always been small, so I was easily carryable. But yeah, I would rather them thought I was a total princess by demanding them to carry me around than just tell them hey, I can't see. I know, it's ridiculous. But that just goes to show you how desperate I was to keep it a secret. And I'm not sure if that was the right thing to do or not. I watch a lot of other blind YouTubers who talk about being bullied pretty badly in school, and I wasn't bullied. I mean, some people did pick on me and they were kind of mean because some people did know it wasn't always possible to keep it a secret. Sometimes I had to have something in large print in class, or sometimes a teacher would call me out, or people would just make fun of me for being clumsy or not looking directly at people. So I was picked on a little bit, but I wouldn't say that I was bullied. And maybe I would have been if I used a magnifier in all my classes, or if I used a cane in high school. I don't know. And I wonder, would that group of guys still wanted to hang out with me if I needed to hold onto their arm and have them guide me around, or if I used a cane? I don't know if they would have still wanted to be my friend. I would hope so, but teenagers. But then on the other hand, I wonder, would I have had more friends because people would have understood that the reason I didn't wave at them in the hallway or didn't sit with them at lunch was because I couldn't see them? You know, I had a pretty bad reputation in high school for being stuck up because I couldn't just like walk up to someone and start up a conversation. And I'm sure there were tons of people that I accidentally ignored because I didn't see them. So people thought I was really stuck up and I didn't have a lot of friends. And, maybe that would have been different if I was open about being visually impaired, or maybe it would have been worse because people may have bullied me. I don't know. But anyways, continuing on with my story, when I started college, I started using a cane, not because I was ready to be like, hello world, I'm blind, but because I needed it, because it was a very big campus and there were a lot of people and I was crossing busy streets and it was unfamiliar, so I had to use the cane to navigate safely. But as soon as I got to a place where I felt like I didn't absolutely need the cane, I would fold it up and put it in my backpack so as less people as possible would see me with it. And I only took it to school. I didn't take it to like the store or parties or tailgate or anything like that. So some people knew that I was visually impaired because they saw me on campus, but then there were a lot of people who still didn't know because they never saw me at school. And I was in a sorority in college. I was a Kappa Delta, and some of the fraternity guys who I guess had seen me on campus with my cane referred to me as that blind KD, or my favorite, that hot blind girl. And that's one of the other reasons why I tried so hard to hide it, is because I didn't want to be known as just that blind girl. I have my own identity and I wanted to be known for who I am as a person, and a lot of times when people see a blind person, that's all they see and they don't go any further than that. And that's just not what I wanted. But anyways, fast forward to a few years after college, I had left my first post-grad job and I was looking for a new job to no avail, and I was pretty bored. And my husband had been encouraging me to write a blog about being visually impaired. And I wasn't like super gung-ho about it, but I really wanted something to do. So I did it, and I wrote a blog about being visually impaired, and I posted it on my Facebook, which was the first time I had ever posted anything about being visually impaired or having a disability or anything like that on my social media. So it was like kind of a big deal, but I was still only like halfway there because I still didn't talk about it in my personal life. It was still something I felt very uncomfortable telling people about, so I wasn't quite there yet. But fast forward again to about 6 or 7 months ago, I just so happened to stumble across a YouTube channel of a girl named Molly Burke, who is about my age, and she has retinitis pigmentosa, which is what I have, and she is almost completely blind. And I started watching her videos, and she just talked so openly about being blind, and like, it's not a big deal. She's just like, I'm a blind girl, and it's part of who I am, but it doesn't define me. And she's just confident, and she even jokes about it. And I was like, I want to be like that. I don't want to be embarrassed or ashamed about it, and I want to be able to be confident about it like that. And something just clicked, and I started this YouTube channel where I talk very openly about it, and I've also even started talking about it in my personal life, and it's not even a big deal anymore. I can talk about it casually and even joke about it, and I feel so much more confident, and that I can just tell people like, hey, I'm sorry I can't see, or just straight up say I'm visually impaired, instead of always spending so much mental energy trying to hide it. And I really feel like a weight has been lifted off of my shoulders. It's felt so liberating to just stop hiding, and I am very thankful to Molly Burke, as cheesy as it sounds, for changing my life and inspiring me. I also have my husband to thank. He's been very encouraging about me opening up about it. And I think one of the other reasons why I tried so hard to hide it is because I didn't want to scare off boys. You know, I wanted to be a normal girl that went on dates and had boyfriends, but now that I'm married, I'm not concerned about that. So anyways, that's my story. And if you are visually impaired and you are hiding your vision impairment, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, like, don't do that, because I did the same thing. You know, you'll get here in your own time, and I just want to say that I understand where you're coming from. I've been there, and I hope you get to where I am soon and feel comfortable about being open about it, because there is really nothing to be embarrassed about. And if I can inspire just one person the way Molly inspired me, I would be happy. So anyways, please feel free to leave any thoughts you have in the comments below. I really like hearing from you guys. And I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you next week.